I was walking in the neighborhood where I live in Delray Beach, Florida this past Wednesday around 8:30 p.m. when I got a text message from my partner Rudy. Steve Jobs passed away. Wow. I stopped my walk and paused. As I looked at the message on my iPhone, I realized that I was reading of the death of the very inventor of this phone and a revolutionary in communications. Steve Jobs, a legend and pioneer. From the first Apple computer to the Macintosh, to the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad, and the first full-length computer-animated movie, Steve Jobs revolutionized technology, making it personal and personable. Steve had a simplicity and elegance. From his products to his presentations, he worked hard to make everything easy. He presented to the common person like a common person. But Steve Jobs' impact on the world extended well beyond his role as an inventor, but as a communicator, a world-class presenter. And in the next few minutes, we'll look at how Steve Jobs and his presentations have impacted our world. But first, let me share a little bit about my history with Steve Jobs and how his Apple inventions have impacted my life and the world around us. I was introduced to Apple computers in 1983, ninth grade, 13 years old. I worked with an elite group of young geeky middle school kids in Mr. Zatrock's computer class in Miami Lakes. Some of us were Apple fans. The more serious kids and programmers hailed the IBM PC as the computer of the future. Like most geeky guys, I decorated my room with geeky guy stuff, including my Apple IIe. I loved connecting with my computer friends online through my 1200 baud modem on CompuServe. And then, in 1984, the Apple Macintosh burst onto the world stage. Most praised it as a computer for the common person, simple and easy. But to me, and many of my computer friends, we felt it was too basic, like a toy. And so I strayed from Apple and found my niche with Windows. And even to this day, I still feel more comfortable and in control with the operating system pioneered by Bill Gates. And honestly, the vast majority of computers still sold today run on the Windows operating system. One of the prime reasons that I work in Windows, and worked back then, was a presentation program called PowerPoint. And not to mention that everybody else in the business world in the mid-1990s also created their presentations with PowerPoint and Windows. Here's a series of 35mm slides that I developed for a client in the mid-1990s. To me, the Mac was a clever curiosity, and many of my friends were die-hard fans, including Neil. Here we are at a Mac store in 2005, trying to get my PC to transfer files to his Mac. But the Mac was gaining prominence and presence in creative circles. But it wasn't until 2005, when Apple rolled out Keynote, that people started to take notice of Apple as a powerful presentation product. The graphics were clean and simple, providing a poetic backdrop for Steve Jobs as he gracefully presented Apple's earnings. And people took notice. Including Al Gore. The former vice president called on my friend and colleague Nancy Duarte to develop his visuals for his presentation on global warming. The talk became a movie, An Inconvenient Truth, and Apple's prominence in the presentation market was solidified. And when the iPhone was released, everyone had the power to create and deliver presentations from the palms of our own hands. The iPhone even serves as a remote control when playing a keynote presentation. Now, I'm not the only person to call Steve Jobs a brilliant communicator. My colleague Carmine Gallo wrote a best-selling book in which he shared the presentation secrets of Steve Jobs. He says it's vital that before starting a presentation, you should think it through, sketch it out, and brainstorm the ideas. Avoiding bullet points is also a critical component. And Practice, practice, practice. Mr. Jobs, Gallo says, would rehearse and practice for hours before any major speech. But here are a few other ideas that I've seen over the years, not just with Steve Jobs, but with any great presenter. Clean, simple sentences. You are the speaker, not your words. You're the center of attention. These words are here to reinforce your messages, not as a script. Steve Jobs was legendary for his common appearance and his common speak. He dressed in a simple black turtleneck sweater and wore everyday blue jeans. So it's important that we look common. I'm not saying that your professional attire is no longer in vogue. I'm encouraging you as a presenter to connect with your audience and reflect your inner personality or your corporate brand. Show it rather than say it. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Stock art, video, and custom illustrations are easier than ever to find, and terrific tools to support a speech. Or you can call on a presentation professional. People like us make our money designing great graphics that support potent points. And most important, dream and believe. Your concepts and messages exist in the ethos of your mind. Presentation tools make it easier than ever to transform vision into reality. Steve Jobs knew the power of presentations and great communications. He dared to dream and forge a fantastic future. We all have this within us. Steve Jobs' visionary technology and presentation skills are a gift that will live on and will allow millions of others, including you and me, to dream and believe and reach the stars. I'm Kevin Lerner of PresentationTeam.com.